स्वादयन्निह सर्वेषाम् त्रय्यन्तार्थम् सुदुर्ग्रहम् स्तोत्रयामास योगीन्द्रः तम् वन्दे यामुनाह्वयम् नमो नमो यामुनाय यामुनाय नमो नमः नमो नमो यामुनाय यामुनाय नमो नमः यत्पदाम्भोरुहध्यान विध्वस्ताशेषकल्मषः वस्तुतामुपयातोऽहम् यामुनेयम् नमामि तम् स्वधर्मज्ञानवैराग्य साध्यभक्त्येकगोचरः नारायणः परम् ब्रह्म गीताशास्त्रे समीरितः श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्ताम् सदा हृदि.
So we are talking about the second quarter of the verse. The first quarter was Asaktya Lokarakshaye. So we saw both words Asaktya and Lokarakshaye. Even while the Lord protects the world, saves the world from danger, He has done it with two types of attitude. One is very much attached and very much detached also. Very much attached will be more relevant than very much detached. That the detachment meaning no blemish will get attached to him because of his protection extended to all the worlds of creation. That is the meaning of the word I mean as detachment. But attachment is his love and affection for the entire creation. That will be asakya. So the second one, what is the meaning of the word guneshu in the second quarter? And aropya, the second word in the second quarter. The third word is kartritam. That's what we are now seeing in the paragraph 41. Fortunately, the paragraphs are numbered so that we can easily identify where we study, where we stop, where we continue, where we resume, and where we have some clarifications needed. We can note down from either Sanskrit or English. So now the process is on. Evam in this way, evam in this manner, loka rakshanartham. So loka, we also saw what is loka, and rakshanartham for the sake of protection. So for the sake of saving. So loka rakshanartham. Now the very portfolio or the responsibility of Lord Vishnu, because he has already diversified the powers of creation to Brahma and dissolution to Lord Shiva. We call them destructive also. We call the action destructive. I mean the word dissolution because they all go back into the belly of Lord Krishna in the lying in the banyan leaf. So Lokarakshanartham pravrittehe in the so from the progress, namely the protection of the world extended by the Lord, antataha till the end. You can also say or from the end anyway. Both are correct. So antataha, anta end. So antataha from the end also. And antataha, that means till the end. Swaraksha paryantam bhashya uttam. The commentary of Sri Ramanujacharya, namely Sri Bhashya, it is said in Sri Bhashyam, Bhashyoktam, meaning Bhashyena Uktam. Tritiya Vibhakti, the instrumental case of the word Bhashya will be Bhashyena Uktam, said by Bhashya. And the very name of the preceptor, Sri Ramanujacharya, is Bhashyakaraha. The first meaning of the term Bhashyakaraha went to Ramanujacharya only, though Sri Shankaracharya wrote Brahma Sutra Bhashyam. But only Sri Bhashyam is the name for, the first name for the commentary by Sri Ramanujacharya on the aphorisms composed by Vedavyasa, otherwise called Krishna Dvaipayana and or Badarayana. They are called Badarayana Sutram, Krishna Dvaipayana Sutram, and Shariraka Sutram, and so on. So this Bhashya, the commentary, said the process of the protection of the world, Swaraksha Paryantam. It can mean in two ways, but only one way is to be understood. Swaraksha will be his own protection. In the process of protecting the world, he must not be harmed. He must not get into trouble. Therefore, he has to save himself first and then save others. So, Swaraksha Paryantam. And the second way of understanding the word Swaraksha Paryantam, now I am interested in first myself, my protection, and then the whole world the protection. I am not interested in the protection of the world initially. There is a proverbial statement in Panchatantram where there is a process of sacrificing, how to sacrifice. So if there is a danger to a country from some other nation, so country will be the first and foremost to be protected by all the people of that particular country. Desha Rakshaye, not Loka Rakshaye, Desha Rakshaye. There we are interested in our country, our nation, more than the other nations. Then when it comes to a region like state, and the state will be more important than the nation. Again, in the state, my own place, native place where I live, that is again more important than the state. Then next comes house, family. So my family is more important than the place where I live in. Lastly, I can sacrifice my family in order to protect myself. So the selfishness is narrowed down to Swaraksha. It is enough if I save myself. I don't care about all other safety, all others' safety. So, Swaraksha Paryantam, till, Paryantam is till, until, up to the self-defense, you can say, self-protection. Bhashya Uktam. So what does the commentary say? Anyatha loka nasha janitam papam jnana yogatapi enam pratyavayet. So the problem for, I would say, I would call it a problem for the Lord is, how does a world go to ruin? The whole world goes to naught, N-A-U-G-H-T, or goes to ruin, goes to destruction because of the sin committed by the residents of the world. But you can say even Chetana and Achetana, the sentient and the insentient world. So Loka, so Anyatha otherwise. So if the whole creation is not protected by the Lord, it's a negative statement. Then his own safety is not assured there. His own duty is at risk. Meaning, Alvar's statement, நீ இன்றி நான் இல்லை, நான் இன்றி நீ இல்லை. If there is only a person to be protected, one can call another as protector. So if there is no protector, the person to be protected has no protection. So this is what Alvar said. I am very important to you and you are very important to me. If both are not there, what is the use? So if one of us is not there, one of us is not existent, then also it's useless. It is not. It is of no use. So there must be a protector and there must be a person who needs protection. Now here also the same thing. As we see, the Lord creates, sustains, maintains the safety, and then dissolves. In all his actions, there is also some selfishness, and it is for his pleasure of sports, called Leela Vibhuti, the creation. And therefore, if the world of creation gets destroyed, then he gets first the feeling that it must be protected. So Anyatha, otherwise, so Loka Nasha, the destruction of the world, Loka, world, Nasha, destruction, Janitam, born, this destruction is the result of Papam, the sin. So the sin of the people. We say in any kingdom, if the king, the ruler, commits bad deeds, then the people, the subjects of that kingdom, suffer because of the king's faults. If the people make wrong actions, then those wrong actions will affect badly the king also. It's a mutual affliction because of the bad attitude. So Jnana Yogat, so this Loka Nasa Janitam, the destruction of the world, must be combated by Jnana Yoga. So the Jnana Yogam, the wisdom, the knowledge process by which all of us can understand what is papam, sin, what is bad for us and what is good for us. And our sin should not affect the whole world. So all these are all Jnana Yoga. The Jnana Yoga comes because of the realization of the Supreme, plus the knowledge of how to avoid the sufferings of the world. Jnana Yoga, that is Jnana Yoga. Yoga, of course, as we saw earlier, is the discipline with which we acquire the wisdom, and the wisdom to be maintained in our hearts to understand the nature of God, Bhagavataha Swarupam. And then already the Karma Yoga is understood because Jnana Yoga, the Api, the word Api is there. Also, it can also mean the word even. Api also means even. So even by Jnana Yoga. So that means it is preceded by Karma Yoga. All the people of the world, rather all the living beings of the world, should do their duties properly and thus save the world from destruction. We say when the people do wrong actions frequently, the destruction of the world is hastened, is speeded up. So the world comes to an end very early or earlier than later. Therefore, Jnana Yoga api, that means Karma Yogena, Bhakti Yogena, then Jnana Yoga api. So all the three can be involved, or they add with the Prapatti also. There is a lot of discussion. If one does not know how to do total surrender, what will he do? How can he understand? There are 5 angas of Prapatti, then one must go to a preceptor, fall at his feet, get advice, the right advice. An uneducated person may not be knowing what is what. So, but he has to do the duties properly according to, as we said earlier, as per the days of the Lord Krishna Avatara. So here, Varna and Ashrama Dharma, following the duties of Varna and Ashrama. So Jnana Yoga Dapi, so even by the, that means even by the Jnana Yoga in the sense, Karma Yoga will itself do. Karma Yoga will be enough to save the world. Of course, that Karma Yoga is to be, the disciplines to be practiced without attachment. That is asaktya. Asaktya. You can take the word asaktya also. So Jnana Yoga Dapi Yenam. Yenam meaning this. So what is this here? Papam. Yenam papam. Pratyavayet. Make it fall down. That means remove, delete, make it fall down. Pratyavayet. Chavayet itself meaning make it fall down. So pratyavayet is make it fall down completely. Let it not raise its ugly head again. Nobody should commit sin in the world, so that the world is sustained for a longer time, as planned by the Sankalpa of the Lord. So Jnana Yoga Tapi Yenam Pratyavayet. So that is the Gita Bhashyam in the 3rd chapter. So what happens is, Lord has started to protect the world, Asaktya Lokarakshayai. Then he also saves himself. And otherwise, so what will happen is, the whole world of creation is being destroyed by the bad actions or by the sin accruing from the bad actions. And with the help of Jnana Yoga, the discipline of wisdom, gaining knowledge, the papam, namely the sin, is to be dropped down. Pratyavayet. Now that means a collective effort of the people, all the living beings, a collective action, collective spirit of this. Then, so how to do it? Of course, people who know the anushtanam, what you call the daily duties, nitya anushtanam, will have to guide other people also. The last week, I was asking my one of my old students of 1977. He is a lawyer's son, and he said recently, after coming back from United States of America, he said he is performing 96 tarpanams for the past 3 years. That means he has improved. It's very difficult to perform all the 96 tarpanams, what we call satisfying the mains, ancestors, in a year. And that is a Shastra injunction. But most of us do not do. And especially Advaitins take it as a vow and do. They give a list of 96 days on which one has to perform the what we call obsequies or the final rites. We call it Tarpanam or Shraddha, Darsha Shraddha Pratinidhi. Yes, water libation with sesame seeds, 96 per year. What I mean to say is, somebody has advised my student and he has started doing. And now he guides others also. He said to me, I was surprised that he is doing 96 times. And I asked him, what about your friends? He said, I am advising my friends and they are also following slowly. They are coming to my wish. Therefore, no, he is also guiding. Not only he is doing, and he is also guiding people. So, papam enam prachavayet. So, a collective effort to put in so that the whole world becomes safe. So, by the wisdom, jnana yoga, by the discipline of wisdom. Meaning why it is even by the discipline of the wisdom is, karma yoga is enough. Then bhakti yoga is also enough. Bhakti yoga, of course, coupled with karma yoga. And jnana yoga is in the middle, as you know. By karma you get wisdom, and by wisdom you go to bhakti attitude. And from bhakti, because bhakti is very difficult to practice, then we follow prapatti. Now, what is the second quarter? Guneshu Aropya Kartratam is the second quarter. Guneshu Aropya Kartratam. Now we understand the list of unlimited number of auspicious characteristics of the Lord. And that is what we may mention as Guneshu. So in the qualities, in the matter of the qualities, but those Guneshu may not involve something like Kartratam. Kartratam is only an action, physical action by the Lord. And it is what we call doership, we can say. He is a doer and he has got the doership. So how can we include it in characteristics? Therefore, you have to say aropya, superimposing the doership on the qualities, on the divine qualities. Meaning, what does he say? What does he say about Guneshu? Sri Bhashyam says, Sattva, Rajaha, Tamaha, iti samyakeshu. There are three types of gunas. There are three types of gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Of course, please remember, Lord Sriman Narayana is only consisting of Sattva guna. He is composed of only Sattva guna. No Rajas and no Tamas for him. But the whole world of creation has got all the three qualities, namely Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Sattva meaning goodness, Rajas meaning the haughtiness, and Tamas is darkness of ignorance. So Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, Samjya. Samjya is only a name, nomenclature, indication of the nature of the object or some concept. So Sattva, Rajaha. Rajaha literally means dust, dirt, D-I-R-T. So that's why the mind, if it is polluted, then we call it dirty mind. Polluted mind in the sense, polluted by bad qualities, namely Madaha, Matsaryam. That is special qualities for royal family, but also the other one, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha. So all these six qualities, if contained in one person, then he will be called Rajasic. We don't call it a royal person who has got all the qualities necessary. The king has to get angry when his orders are not carried out, executed. Therefore, so Rajas. And then Tamas. Tamas is common to all, namely the darkness of ignorance, complete darkness. what you call pitch darkness at night on the new moon day. So here, so Thomas. So Samnya is name. Samnya is the signal or indicator. So what is the meaning here? I mean, these three qualities are comprised in Prakriti Gunesh. Prakriti means nature, as you know. Prakriti is also what we call an inert matter, and it is one of the 25 principles of Prakriti. So Moola Prakriti we say. So the source, namely Prakriti, from which Lord Brahma has created the world. So Prakriti is natural, Guneshu. Yeah. Moola is root, yeah. So Moola Prakriti. So Prakriti Guneshu, meaning this Prakriti is nature of the world. Nature of the world. The world has three qualities. So Prakriti Guneshu, the nature has three qualities. Nature is only a creation, and all the creations have all the three qualities: Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. So Prakriti Guneshu iti arthaha. So what is the meaning of the word Guneshu? It means Prakriti Guneshu. Again, what are those Prakriti Gunas? What are those characteristics of nature? Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. In case of Sri Vaikuntham, the headquarters of Lord Sriman Narayana, there is only one guna quality, namely Sattva. And therefore, whenever we call the body, then call a name to the body of Sri Vaikuntha, namely the Lord, Lord of Lords, Lord of God, Deva Deva, Lord Sriman Narayana is Aprakrita Shariram. It is not that unnatural, but it is different from nature, beyond nature. Beyond nature in the sense it is not created, neither created nor destroyed also. So Aprakritam, but Aprakritam is almost equal to the Sattva quality. And Sattva is Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, Sanyakeshu, Prakriti Guneshu. Then Aropya Kartritam. So what is the meaning of the word Aropya Kartritam? The expression Aropya Kartritam. So who is the doer? Lord Sriman Narayana is the doer. Kartritvam we say, otherwise Kartrita. Both are the same. For the ordinary actions that we perform daily in our human life are also dependent upon his action. Meaning, it is he who does everything. So ordinary activity. So activities like what we call following the discipline of Karma Yoga, and following the discipline of Jnana Yoga, and following the discipline of Bhakti Yoga, again, all is done by him. So the action performed by him is now superimposed as one of the unlimited number of qualities of the Lord. So Aropya Kartritam. Now let us see the explanation of Sri Bhashyam. So Swasya Desha Kala Avastha Adi Niyata Vishaya Jnana Chikirsha Prayatna Ashraya. I think we will try to find out whether there is some Mudra Rakshasa, the printing error. Plakshanam Kartritam Gunaprayuktataya Anusandhaya iti artha. Now, what is the individual soul to do? What should the individual soul to do? The individual soul should think of, should understand, should realize, should feel, and should repeat, and should meditate. So what is the word for that? Anusandhanam, reminding oneself, repeat, meditate, anusandhaya, connecting himself, connecting the individual soul to what? Guna prayuktataya. Remember the qualities of the Lord. You remember the usage of the characteristics of the Lord. So guna prayuktataya. Now, how to understand these qualities of the Lord? So one of the best qualities will be kartritam. Kartritam guna prayuktataya. The individual soul should remember in Jnana Yoga that the action responsibility lies only on the Lord. That is, whatever we do, it is He who does. It is not we. So, kartratam guna prayuktataya. So, include that doership in the list of qualities, auspicious qualities. So, again, don't remember the word guneshu will be sattva, rajas and tamas. It is not mixed up with the rajas and tamas here. It is only sattva guna with regard to the Lord. Therefore, guna prayuktataya will mean only sattva guna prayuktataya anusandhaya, not rajo guna prayuktataya or tamo guna prayuktataya. That will be a false statement. Then, this kartrita, the responsibility you can say of the action depends on Lord, and Lord, how does He do it? So, swasya, His own, OWN, swasya, then desha, kala, avastha, adi. The place is very important, the place of action, kala, the time of action, avastha, the status of action. There are three types of action. That which belongs to a place, particular place, it is different from some other place. Then kala is time. Is it either past, present or future? Then avastha in different states. Or you can say status or condition. So there are different conditions. And some more are there. Adi, etc. is also there. Not only desha, kala and avastha. Some more situations demand the quality, namely kartrita, namely the doership. Therefore, it depends on how he does it according to the place, time and status. Desha, kala, avastha, adi, etc. Niyata, fixed, rather prescribed. Prescribed by the place, time and status. Niyata. Then what happens? Vishaya jnana. Now we understand what is the list of objects of pleasure in this world. Vishaya is normally subject matter, as we say in English, but Vishaya is the objects of enjoyment in this world. So Vishaya jnanam. Now there are two meanings of the word Vishaya jnanam here. Jnanam, wisdom or knowledge, a supreme knowledge. Of the Vishayam here, subject matter is the Lord. The entire Bhagavad Gita, you can say Gitartha Sangraha or Gitartha Sangraha Raksha of Swami Deshika, are only concentrating upon the Jnana Yoga, and that Jnana Yoga is called Vishaya Jnana. Vishaya Jnana Yoga. That Vishaya is the aimed subject matter. The goal, the subject matter is the goal. That goal is Vishaya. Now, another meaning will be Vishaya Jnana. That also must have, one must have in the individual soul, is ought to have. It ought to have, or it is supposed to have. Meaning, they must know, the individual souls must know that the knowledge of the enjoyable objects of this world should also be remembered by them as impermanent, transient, temporary, in comparison to the Lord, and therefore we must not seek the worldly pleasures. That also must be there. So Vishaya Jnana is in twofold. An individual soul should realize the God's nature. Swarupa and Rupa he must be knowing. And then he must also give up the desires of this world. So Vishaya Jnana. So Vishaya Jnanam is one is to give up the contact with the world, and second is he get linked with Paramatma. So Jnana, Vishaya Jnana. Then Chikirsha. So there will be a zest, zeal, quest, Quest, or Zest, or Zeal, curiosity to know. Chikirsha is Kartum Chikirsha, Kartum Icha Chikirsha. In order to do. So what to do about Vishaya Jnana? So Vishaya Jnana is to be done or to be practiced or approached, preceded by Karma Yoga, the discipline of action. So by following the discipline of action, that is what we call Kartumicha, Chikirsha. So doing the action, not only with the desire to do action, but also actually performing the action. So Chikirsha. Then how to have a desire to perform action? By a prayatna. First, even to possess a desire to perform action, we must have desire or effort. So we must have effort. We have to put in a lot of effort. We have to put in heart and soul to understand and gain the Vishaya Jnana. So in getting the Vishaya Jnana, we must be very curious to get it. That curiosity will be through effort, so prayatna. Then that again, that our great efforts will be the outcome of Ashrayat Lakshanam. Ashrayat Lakshanam. Sorry. Ashrayat Lakshanam. It depends on whom we approach, whom we surrender, whom we take as shelter, and whom we take as refuge. So whom we consider our succor, savior. So again, so Ashrayat Lakshanam. Then we will understand Kartrutvam is a doership will be one of the qualities of the Lord, and that we must always imagine, meditate, and so on. Anusandhaya. So that will be what we call Guneshu Aropya Kartrutvam. The Aropya, the word superimposition, superimposing, will be involving our meditation. The superimposition of the doership on the qualities of the Lord will be what we call our imagination, our continuous meditation in all the places, in all times, and in all status, in all conditions. We must understand that the wisdom of the great subject matter, namely the Lord, and a desire to, a curiosity to understand the Lord, and then making efforts by that curiosity, or efforts to create curiosity to know who God is, and so on. So that will be the meaning of the word of the second quarter, namely Guneshu Aropya Kartrutam. Then we go to the third quarter, Tathacha Bhashyam. In that matter, Bhashyam is there, the commentary. Tathacha meaning about that, you can say. About this Bhashyam it says, Guneshu Kartrutva Anusandhanancha idameva atmanaha na swarupa yuktam idam kartrutvam apitu guna samparka kritam iti prapta aprapta vivekena guna kritam iti anusandhanam. This is very interesting to say. How does the Lord protect the world? Lokarakshaye, Asakya Lokarakshaye we saw earlier. How does he extend the protection to the world? When he extends the protection to the world, he does it very easily, sportfully. Leela, Leelaya we say in Sanskrit. Effortlessly, without any deep trouble. So without trouble he does it. When he does it, how does he do it easily? Gunakritam, last line, Gunakritam. That is the beauty here in the Sri Bhashyam of Sri Ramanujacharya. Whenever we perform action, you say that I performed with my hands or legs or whatever it is, you can say motor organs 5, knowledgeable organs 5, and manas, the 11th sense organ, ekadashi indriyam, and so on. Either it is our eyes or ears or hands or legs or something like that, they do the action. No, it is not so. It is not so. They take it, they take the 11th indriyam, namely manas. Because our manas works, our mind works, our actions are physical. The physical actions depend upon our thoughts. We are doing some thoughtful action. We think before we leap. So when we do action, we depend our dependence is on manas. That manas, also the human mind has got a quality. It has got different qualities. The most important and frequently mentioned quality is fickleness. We jump from one idea to another very easily. That is a nature, that is a bad nature of the human mind. Human mind is like a monkey. The monkey jumps from one branch of the tree to another branch of the next tree. It always jumps, it never stays in single place. Here, the same thing with the manas. And therefore, if we train the mind to have the quality, namely gunakritam, what is called, we apply our quality. We call ourselves good people. We call ourselves good people. When we perform action, they also must be good. Because we call ourselves good people. We never call ourselves bad people. A thief never accepts his crime. We also, though we say that we are good people, I was asking, how are you to someone? And he said, I am good. Then I said, you are not, you were never bad. I understand, I know you, you are never bad. When I say, how are you, means I'm talking about the health. But he says, I am good. That means I am good in health also. That's okay. But the expression is, expression has got two meanings. I am good in the sense, I have goodness in my heart. I don't want to harm you. So here, the Gunakritam, that is Gunakritam. Now there is a Tamil saying with regard to Tirupavai of the last 3 verses by Andal. She mentioned the name Govinda 3 times. Kudare Vellum Seer Govinda. Then Andriha and Govinda. In that way, 3 Govinda, that the 3 verses on the last 3 Tirupavai Pashuram of Goda Devi, Andal, Neela Devi in incarnation, or you can say even Bhuma Devi in incarnation. Rather, Varaha's wife, Varahavatara's wife, namely the goddess of earth incarnating as Andal. She gives the Anushtanam there. What we do is, when we do Sankalpa, the decision, we keep our palms together, the right palm over the left palm, and keep it on our lap, you can say thigh, and then start saying Hariron Tatu Sri Govinda Govinda Govinda. Now, why I mentioned this word Govinda here, the essence of it is, the beauty of it is, the surprise of it is, who is better? Lord Govinda is better, or like his name Govinda is better? Who is superior? He is superior in the physical frame, or rather you can say, as I told you just now, Aprakrita Tirumeni Vijayantam. Shariram of the Lord is very important, more important than the name of his name, his name. His name gives you the quality. So they say Govinda, the name is more powerful than the very Lord. Lord Krishna is less in quality than his name. So that is now we say, suppose I try to praise the Lord, I try to adore the Lord. I have no words to praise. My vocabulary is so little that I'm not able to praise the Lord. Therefore, so that doesn't mean Lord Sriman Narayana has only limited number of qualities, because I do not have necessary expertise to compose poems on him with all the unlimited number of qualities. Now I blame the Lord having only a few qualities, and that is not the right way. So here, so we say, na matikshayat. Matikshayat, na Govinda gunakshayat. There's a statement, proverbial statement. My intellect is small, not that the qualities of the Lord are less in number. So Govinda gunakshayat. Never the diminishing of the qualities happen of the Lord, whereas our tongue has got limited power to compose poems. So this is how we say. Now coming to this one, therefore gunakritam, the quality itself does the action. That's what we say in our case also. When we have an attitude to learn, I would say one more word, aptitude to learn. So, for example, you are all interested in learning the Gitartha Sangraha. You are ready to listen. You are ready to spend your time. You are ready to avoid other actions. You are ready to keep away some other schedule. So here, so the meaning is you are involved. What is it? What is the reason for your involvement? Is your desire, your interest, your curiosity, your zeal, and so that is what we call gunakritam. That makes you act. It is not that everyone has all these good qualities, but only some of us have got the curiosity to learn. Some of us have the intention to study. So gunakritam. So gunakritam iti anusandhan. So we must understand that Lord has got so many good qualities that those good qualities work together so that the Lord gives protection to the world of creation. That is the meaning of the last part of the word. Then coming to this one, how do you understand gunakritam? Prapta aprapta vivekan. We have a discrimination. We have a power of distinguishing between what is praptam and what is apraptam. We say in Tamil very easily, suppose one gets a lot of advantages in life and leads his life very conveniently, then we say praptam. he has reached, he has got, he has attained the praptam. Again, about the future advantages that we must have, we say praptam irundal nadakkum. That will happen if there is praptam. But what is a praptam? Praptam doesn't mean luck, as we say in Tamil, meaning it as adrishtam. Adrishtam is unexpected, luck is adrishtam, unseen, not already seen, looked at. So here, prapta, aprapta vivekan. Now we understand what has been got and what has not been got. What prapta, aprapta vivekana, by the discrimination power, namely between the advantages received and advantages not received. Again, so going earlier to the earlier expression, guna samparka kritam. So again, the guna kritam is expanded to guna samparka kritam. When we associate ourselves with good people, I asked one gentleman from Singapore yesterday, why did you join my class? I asked him, why was he interested in joining my class? I gave him an information that there is a class being conducted in the Indian Standard Time mornings on only just 3 days of a week in order to explain in Tamil the Deshika Stotras. Shanta madam knows that. Shanta madam is also attending regularly. And what I mean to say is, I asked him, he is from Singapore. His time is also, of course, office time, and of course, may be convenient to him. And he was sick for the past 2 days. He could not attend. Then I said, you please remember the God by saying, Achyutananta Govinda Namocharana Bheshajat Nashyanti Sakala Rogaha Satyam Satyam Vadamyaham. Please say it several times, okay, along with the medication. He said, I am under strong medication and therefore I could not concentrate on your class. Therefore, I didn't attend your class. When he said it, I said, say this verse, Achyutananta Govinda. Achyuta Ananta Govinda. I know all of us know that these three names are very important, along with, of course, all other names like Sahasranama. In performing what we call Achamana, sipping of the water. The first 3 names we are saying Achyutaya Namaha, Anantaya Namaha, Govindaya Namaha. These 3 words are very effective in removing or preventing any disease in us. That's what we say. Understand and believe, that will be our quality. The belief in saying the Achyutananta Govinda in order to cure our ailment, that will be our faith, belief, and that will be our quality. Gunakritam. It is not the mere saying of these 3 names of the Lord, divine names of the Lord, but it is our quality of expectation plus faith. And therefore, and I told him another word, Sharire Jajjare Bhute Vyadhigraste Kalebare Aushadham Jannavi Toyam Vaidyo Narayano Harihi. The only physician to cure all our diseases of life will be Lord Sriman Narayana. Vaidyo Narayano Harihi. You can also say Vaidyo Narayana Sada. He is ever available as a doctor, physician, to cure our diseases, to mitigate our problems of health and the life problems also. So here the meaning is, and then after I said to him these 2 verses, what he said was, he is not very particular in learning a particular stotram, but he said he wants to attend the class because he wants to be in satsang. Satsang, we say in Hindi. Satsangam, Sanskrit. Satsangaha, Sanskrit. He wanted to get associated with good people. So That is what he said. The very word that he said. That is what we now say with regard to guna samparka kritam. Guna samparka kritam is whether we possess naturally these good qualities or not, we have to associate ourselves with the people who possess all these good qualities. And only one person has got a lot of unlimited number of auspicious qualities is the Lord. Therefore, we have to associate with Him and associate with Him in quality. So, guna samparka kritam. So that is what we call kartrutva. Again, so guneshu kartrutvam, as it is said in the second quarter, guneshu aropya kartrutvam. So when we say the gunas are active, the characteristics, the qualities are active qualities. They are not abstract qualities to say that they are in the mind of the God and they never work. They never induce the person to do anything. No, they are responsible. They are the causes for Lord's actions also. The qualities of the Lord are the real causes, reasons for His action. Because He has got so many qualities, Jnana, Bala, Aishwarya, Shakti, Tejas and Aishwarya. So here all the 6 qualities called being as being called the Bhaga in Bhagavan, the word Bhagavan. The qualities make him good, make him the best. So then what happens is, so that we are to meditate. So Guneshu Kartrutva Anusandhanam. So include in the list of qualities his qualities, namely the doership, Kartrutva Anusandhanam. Meditate it upon. And then Idam Eva, this alone, Idam Eva, this alone, Atmanaha. Here, Atmanaha is Jivatmanaha. So, Jivatmanaha of the individual soul, na Swarupa Prayuktam. So, let us not now, because of our attachment to the Lord, because we are associated closely with the Lord, because we think of the Lord all the time, because we meditate upon Him throughout the day or throughout the week, month and year, we still cannot become equal to Him in the list of qualities. Therefore, Swarupa Prayuktam Idam Kartrutvam. So it is not our nature to have, to use these qualities. So, na Swarupa Yuktam Idam Kartrutvam. So that means we are not the doers. We are not using our original form, utilizing the qualities. That means again the word aropya is very significant because I cannot superimpose the qualities of the Lord on me, on myself, and then expect myself to become so good as the Lord. It is not possible. So Jivatmanaha, Atmano na, Jivatmano na, so Atmano na Swarupa Prayuktam Idam. Our natural form is not to do all good actions forever. So Swarupa Prayuktam Idam Kartrutvam Apitu Guna Samparka Kritam. Because we go to the temple, because we remember the God, because we meditate upon Him, because we study the stotras, because we study the books that extol Him, we now get into the groove of His qualities. So Guna Samparka. Samparka is connection, link. So Guna Samparka Kritam iti. Now we understand that if at all we are good in nature, we consider that our nature, good nature, is the result of our association with the Almighty. So Guna Samparkritam. Then again we understand we have got something, we have not got something. That means we are lucky. You can also say it this way. So we are lucky in one way, we are unlucky in one way. Now we do not know why we have got something and why we have not got something. Why we have got our desires fulfilled in one form and we have not got our desires fulfilled in another form. We have got unfulfilled desires. So all this the discrimination will make us understand that God also works on qualities, works based on his qualities. Other works in the sense, saves the world from danger, working on his qualities. Rather, I can also conclude this paragraph as his qualities work, his qualities save the world, rather than the Lord himself. Over to the participants, the long paragraph. And again, as Keshav Swami says, there must be questions exclusively by other participants and or a feedback or what you call a reaction, or you can also quote your own experience in tune with these qualities or the divine experience that you had earlier. I can tell you many practical practical experience of my my little devotion towards the Lord. Um, you also can react to it your personal surprising situations where you have got some advantages by the qualities of the Lord.
So thank you very much, Swami. So it looks like in the very beginning, the first sentence of the commentary is also explaining more about this about the previous compound here, loka rakshaye. So he's explaining some more about loka rakshanartam in the first part of today's commentary. And I just wanted to say that here he's quoting from Gita Bhashya of chapter 3, because we're talking about chapter 3 and verse 21. So just let me say that verse 21 is yad yad acharati shreshtas tad tat tad eve taro janaha. Yeah.
Tayat pramanam kurute lokas tadanuvartate.
Right. So the part which is important here for loka raksha is this lokas tad anuvartate. That what it means is whatever a great man does, or whatever the greatest person does, other people do. Other people will follow whatever standard that he sets. The whole world will follow. So this idea of loka raksha, of protecting the world, Lord Krishna gives the idea that if great people show an example, then other people will follow and the whole world will be saved. Is that the idea?
That's right.
So his formula for saving the world is to show example. He comes in his avatara as Lord Krishna, and he comes and establishes religion, dharma samstapanataya, protects his devotees and annihilates the miscreants. He comes and he does these things, and he is setting an example for other people also. So he personally sometimes comes and protects the world, or protects all the people, loka rakshai, and he also encourages others to protect the world too by his example. And that's why Vedanta Deshika is quoting this particular verse, because this is the method that Lord Krishna uses, and it should be the method that we use also, that we should give example to others. We should give example to others. So I was specific. What came to my mind about this is that a prapana actually doesn't have to do anything. A prapana has surrendered to God. He is not performing any efforts for reaching moksha. God himself is the Upaya. But still he does so many things which are mentioned in Shastra. We were talking about Bhagavad Agyaya. The order of the Lord is in Shastra. And the Prapana also is born in a particular Varna and Ashrama. He's living his life according to the rules of Shastra, which are the orders of God. But he's really doing this as an example to other people, because he doesn't need to do any of these things, because he is already being saved by God. God is the Upaya and taking him to moksha. But he's doing it, just as Krishna says here, to act as an example. And the example that the Prapana sets of following the Shastra will help to save the world, because the world doesn't, not everybody in the world is a Prapana. Not everybody is taking to property. So those people who don't take to property, they should be encouraged to follow the Shastras, to follow the Varna and Ashrama system, also to follow their dharmas, and to do karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, whatever other effort, yogas of effort, what other upayas which they have faith in. And they can only have faith in them if they see somebody else is also doing them. So we make the example of doing those other things, of studying, of doing work, of doing devotional acts, which are mentioned in the scriptures to be done, in order to help others as an example to them. But really, for the Prapana, we don't have to do anything, because the Lord is actually our upaya, and not the work or the knowledge or the devotion. So,
Right.
yeah. So anyway, that was interesting that he quoted chapter 3, verse 21 in the very first part. So that's what I got from the first part of the commentary. So that's what I understood, why he is quoting this verse. Vedanta Deshik is quoting this verse and this part of the commentary of Gita Bhashya in relation to Loka Rakshaye. Then the next thing which I thought was interesting was he used this word Jnana Yogad, from Jnana Yoga. And as you say, it is not just Jnana Yoga, from Jnana Yoga, but also Api. That it means that he says Api here, but he could have said Adi, no? He could have said from Jnana Yoga and from Karma Yoga and from Bhakti Yoga and even from Prapati, right? Because
Right.
it is not just from Jnana Yoga, but why specifically, my question here is, why specifically Vedanta Deshika says Jnana Yoga? Why does he say specifically Jnana Yoga when he could have mentioned Karma Yoga, he could have mentioned Bhakti Yoga, he could have mentioned Prapati, and because the Advaitins, they usually say Jnanat Mokshaha, that this is Panchama Vibhakti, right? From ablative, from Jnana comes moksha. So here he's saying Jnana Yogad, from Jnana Yoga, right? It seems like he's saying from Jnana Yoga we will reach moksha. But it's really from all these other yogas also, from Karma Yoga, from Jnana Yoga, from Bhakti Yoga, from Prapati. These are all ways that is indicated by the word Api. So why specifically?
Your rendering makes me think this way also.
Okay.
Jnana Yogadapi.
Yeah.
The word Jnana Yogadapi. It may create a false impression that it may not be possible by Jnana Yoga to have a realization of God. It is only through Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, and there's no middle path like Jnana Yoga. And Prapati Yoga can be adopted, and therefore these three yogas, Karma, Bhakti and Prapati, will be enough, and Jnana Yoga may not be necessary. That may give us that kind of expression also. Jnana Yoga, Dapi, meaning whatever is achieved by the other three yogas is achievable by this yoga also, by even this yoga. That is one kind of impression. Another kind of impression will be the Jnana Yoga should be definitely preceded by Karma Yoga. Without Karma Yoga, you cannot have Jnana Yoga. So Jnana Yoga is very important also. The one impression is Jnana Yoga it can be avoided, whereas other three are enough. The second point is without Jnana Yoga also you cannot do anything. It is not enough that Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga and Prapatti Yoga are sufficient to get realization. Again, there is a contention that those people who practice Bhakti Yoga, they aspire for moksha, whereas people who follow Prapatti Yoga, they expect only preeti of the Lord, the affection of the Lord. That's also there. Therefore, Jnana Yoga, by Jnana Yoga, what are you aiming at? The aiming at what you are practicing Jnana Yoga is Guneshu Aropya Kartrutva. Understand that he is the only doer, he is the only doer of all actions. That is again in the process of Prapatti Yoga we say the desire, our desire created in our mind in order to do Prapatti Yoga it is his lookout, his action. Second, the very process of following all these 5 limbs very strictly, that also is done by him. Then again, finally, our thinking of getting the affection of the Lord as our aim, or with regard to a person following the discipline of Bhakti Yoga to reach Vaikuntham. So all these are all the planned thoughts of the Lord thrust upon. Not exactly, of course. It is thrust upon us, and then we are not compelled to do it. We have been made curious to follow. So that's what I understand with your feedback. Api will be having both the aspects of the importance of Jnana Yoga and the importance of Karma Yoga.
So
without Karma Yoga, you cannot go on to Jnana Yoga.
Yeah. So what you're saying, but yeah, we've already covered Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga a little bit in the commentary. But here, he specifically seems to be singling out Jnana Yoga as being important, in case people think that without Jnana Yoga we can approach the Lord.
That's it.
Okay. So
that's the correct of it.
I also thought the other part that I thought was interesting, the whole rest of when we start talking about the qualities of the Lord. It was very interesting. The other verse that he was quoting from in the rest of the commentary was 329, and 329 in the Gita is prakrite gunasambuddhaha sajjate guna karmasu. Guna karmasu I thought was very important because you say guna kritam. So guna karma. Yeah, that the actions are actually performed by the gunas, by the qualities. The qualities are active. So it says, this verse says, those deluded by the qualities of material nature are attached to the actions of the qualities. The actions of the qualities. So the qualities themselves act. And in this case, we speak about different qualities. We talk about the qualities of the Lord, but also the qualities of the individual soul, right? So the qualities of the individual soul, just to recap, the qualities of the individual soul and the qualities of anything in this material world, right, are composed of sattva, rajas, and tamas. these three qualities, which are like three primary colors of goodness, passion, and ignorance, or we can say in some different ways. But the Lord, his qualities, although they're unlimited, they do not include rajas and tamas. They are purely sattvic in nature. So these qualities, we show everybody has to perform some work, right? So when we're talking about kartritvam, doership, right? The Lord also says in Bhagavad Gita, he says, I work, and if I didn't work, nobody would work. Again, he's saying about that he is the example, right? Before he was saying, yad yad acharati shreshtas, you should follow the example of great people. And he's saying, I work, and if I didn't work, nobody would work, because everybody follows the example of great people. And I'm the greatest person, so if I didn't work, nobody would work. So he works, but his work is through his auspicious qualities, his unlimited auspicious qualities, which are only good and not got anything to do with passion or ignorance. We work, however, we do different works. We do works, sometimes we do works in goodness, sometimes we do works in passion, sometimes we do works in ignorance. So we do works through all the different gunas, all our different gunas. And so he is encouraging us that we should follow his example and only do works in sattvic works. So I thought it was important to understand this guna kritam as being explained in the Gita also as Gita guna karmasu, guna karma. It's not just the actions, but the actions are prompted by different qualities. And I think this comes back to the Varnashram system. In the Varnashram system, the different Varnas are predominated by different qualities. So the Brahmins are predominated by Sattva Guna. So their actions are Brahminical actions of the higher castes, right, are more spiritual and more uplifting than the actions of the lower castes, because the lower castes are acting, many of their actions are according to Rajas and Tamas. As you said, the Kshatriya he is doing some Rajasic things, and the Vaishya some Tamasic, and the Sudra many Tamasic things. So these other castes, they have to lift themselves up by trying to do only sattvic activities. Following the example of the Lord and also the example of the Brahmin caste, which is mainly engaged in Brahminical sattvic activities. So now in the verse, Chaturvarnam Maya Shrishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasaha, can we take Guna Karma again in that verse to be the same as this Guna Karma Su in the 329, and also here Guna Kritam, Guna Karma in Chaturvarna Maya Shrishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasaha, that it is the guna which makes the actions. So in other words, somebody may say Guna Karma Vibhagasaha, that they may say Guna Karma is a dvandva, that it's guna and karma is what makes up the person. Sometimes in English we say it is nature and nurture that makes a person. It is not that you are not born a bad person, but through your activities somebody will say, no, it's only his upbringing or the way he was taught that makes him bad. But he is not inherently bad. And some people will say, no, he is inherently bad, he was born bad, and it doesn't matter what you say, he will be bad. So guna karma can be understood as guna and karma, but it can also be like this, guna kritam or guna kamasu in 329, that the gunas are impelling the karmas, are making us do. So Chaturvarna Maya Shrishtam, according to the gunas in which we are born, or our body, the type of bodies that we have are influenced by different gunas. According to that, we will do those activities. Those activities will come about because of those gunas that we have. There's no doubt about it. So somehow or other, we have to try and overcome our nature, our material body, the nature of our material body, and try and strive for only doing sattvic acts. But
very nice that because of your feedback, I want to tell other participants that we get the clue, the right clue, that the word guna samparka kritam and guna kritam in the last two lines of the commentary will be added with sattva guna samparka kritam and sattva guna kritam. That is better. We can modify even Sri Bhashya, Swami Deshika's Gitartha Sangraha Raksha for better understanding. Meaning, when we associate as a devotee or as individual soul to toward the Lord, we have to imbibe the quality, namely sattva. So it is sattva guna samparka kritam will be sattva guna of the Lord, namely, so our attachment is toward the Lord. Again, all the actions performed by the Lord, we never perform that. Only Lord performs all actions. Those all actions of the Lord are associated with the sattva guna kritam. It is not any other guna. The Lord has no rajas and tamas. That we must realize here. So that is what I understand as a good feedback from Keshav Das Swami. And the word, the sattva will be added to guna. Whenever we say guna, we mean in Sanskrit good quality only. You know, if you want to denote a bad quality, we say durguna. So guna itself means good quality. So here it means sattva, rajas, and tamas. And as he said, again in the 4th chapter, Dhatur Varnyam Maya Srittam, Guna Karma Vibhagashaha, these 4 varnas and 4 ashramas are divided by 3, sattva, rajas, and tamas. There also the quality, not only this different list of quality characteristics that characterize the varna and ashrama, but also it is only sattva, rajas, tamas. There it's a mixture of all the 3 qualities in all the 4 varnas and 4 ashramas. You know, as you said, the Brahmana varna must have more sattva quality than the other 2. So also the Kshatriya varna has more rajasic quality than the other 2. And Vaishya and Shudra has more tamas quality than the other 2. So this is how the percentage differs, the proportion differs, and based on those 3 qualities of these 4 varnas and 4 ashramas, the actions also emerge as the result of these qualities. So, as you said rightly, 3 qualities govern the 4 varnas and 4 ashramas, not general qualities like satyam and so on.
yeah, the other thing that I was thinking about, the last thing that I was thinking about was all this discussion of kartritvam. And of doership. I was thinking about the sattvika tyaga. That is very important. That even though the gunas are impelling us, the gunas are making us to do different actions according to our nature. According to the nature, we do actions, and the Lord also, according to His nature, He does actions. But even then, when we do actions which are sattvic, when we're doing some spiritual actions, then or even ritual actions, we give up the doership of that to the Lord by doing the sattvika tyaga. Now, and I was thinking, why is it called sattvika tyaga? It is not rajasika tyaga. It is not tamasika tyaga. It is sattvika tyaga, because only when we do something spiritual, for instance, if I go somewhere and I want to drink some liquor, I don't do sattvika tyaga for drinking the liquor. I am impelled by rajasika guna, by tamasik or rajasic guna to go and do something sinful. But I don't give up but even though the Lord may be doing that through me, because I have some desire to do it, some bad desire, even though the Lord is doing it through me, I don't give it up to him and say, he is doing it. I feel that I am doing it. I will never do a Rajasika Tyaga or a Tamasika Tyaga. Only when I do something sattvic, I think the Lord is doing that through me. And all the bad sins, the papam, he was mentioning papam here, all the bad sins, which are tamasic and rajasic, I think that is mine alone. I am doing that. Right? So I was thinking, oh, why do we call it sattvika tyaga? Why don't we call it guna tyaga? No, but it's only sattvika tyaga, only the auspicious acts that we do. We understand the Lord is working through us and doing that. He's making us do everything, even the sins he's making us do. But we don't ascribe the sins, the doership of the sins to him, because that would be wrong, because he has no connection with those sins. So we cannot say Rajasika Tyaga, we cannot say Tamasika Tyaga, only Sattvika Tyaga. That was just another thought that I had because of this idea of doership. The doership is only ascribed to the Lord in terms of good things, good actions based on Sattvic Guna.
Yeah, in the case of both, of course, Samashrayanam of both Sampradaya, Deshika and Pennacharya, plus the Bharanyasa of Deshika Sampradaya, refer to the submission of your good merits and sins. So in that sense, your tyaga is rajasic and tamasic, not in nature, but tyaga of the rajasa qualities and the tamasa qualities in you, because you have committed sins and the burden of sins is now transferred to the receptor. So that there, you cannot call them rajasika tyaga or tamasika tyaga. Very right, you are very right when you said Sattvi only we perform Sattvika Tyaga. Even when we are good in actions, those, as you said, spiritual actions, we submit to the Lord. And of course, by submit to the Lord, our Sattvic actions, we will definitely get advantages. We will get always good results. But while transferring the burden of sins, either by Rajasic or Tamasic quality, then there is a doubt whether the Lord will forgive us, excuse us, and then give moksha. That also is assured by him. And therefore, we can't call it Rajasika Tyaga in strictest term, but we say Tyaga of the sins that came out of our Rajasic and Tamasic quality. Very, very nice to understand how Bharanyasa is consisting of all the three. We also submit our merits. Therefore, Sattvika Tyaga is also there. Right.
Right. We're also submitting our papas, but our sins. But yeah. So we're submitting. But what I was thinking more when I was thinking of Sattvika Tyaga, of course, I was thinking more about the method of daily anusthana. When we do daily anusthana, you chant the Sattvika Tyaga mantras before and after an auspicious ritual that we do, or it's part of the daily pancha kriyas that we do in the day. Whereas we don't, if we happen to perform some sin, right, we don't do a Sattvika Tyaga for that. Right? Of course, we shouldn't do any sin. Somehow, unknowingly, sometimes people do agyata, without knowledge, they do some sin. If they come to know it, then they do prayaschitta. But so now in normally people do prayaschitta in in Deshka Sampradaya and in Tenacharya Sampradaya, is there any system of doing prayaschitta when one comes to know that he has done some sin?
Yeah, that's it. That was, we call it Krishram. Krishram, of course, means sin. Krishram is actually the process by which you donate something, dakshina, to the Brihaspati, the priest, in order to, in order to remove our sins.
Yes, so giving some donation to the Brahmin, and Kritsha means a penance, some sort of penance. But I was reading yesterday in Yati Dharma Samuchaya, because somebody asked me if a sannyasin breaks his vow of celibacy, then what is the penance? So I was looking in Yati Dharma Samuchaya, which is a book by Govindajir Yadava Prakash, who was Ramanuja's first Gurukula teacher, who later became his student. And it's a book about the rules for yatis or sannyasins. And in there it says that he should do a penance, a kritsha, for 1 year. And some other, but exactly what a kritsha type of penance is, I'm not sure. But I read about some other penances, like there is this Chandrayana fasting that people do, where they take less and less food every day in the Krishna Paksha, in the waning moon period, and then in the waxing moon period they take more and more food, up from 1 to 15 handfuls of food per day. So this Chandrayana fasting is a type of penance. There are many other penances mentioned in Dharma Shastra, taking bath with your clothes on, or saying Agamarshana Suktam, and as we do in Sandhya Vandanam every day. But exactly what type of penances are done, mostly apart from the simple things in Sandhya Vandanam, in Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, what sort of penances are people doing?
Brahma Yajnam is there.
Brahma Yajna is a penance.
Yeah. Yajnam itself is sacrifice.
Right.
Sacrifice is a penance.
And
Adhara Shaktiyadi Tarpanam is there.
Adhara Shakti Tarpanam is a penance.
Yeah.
So
any spiritual action is penance. With regard to suppose our discussion now on God, we are not talking about the worldly matters that are beneficial to us or harmful to us. We are not discussing anything. So we are discussing about God. The discussion on God itself, though we may have what we call prattling, jalpaha we say in Sanskrit. We prattle, we say something irrelevant. So even then, our mind always holds Narayana Eka Nishthaha. Yeah, Prajalpa is gossip. We are talking of Jalpa, and becomes Japa. Remove the letter L. So that will be a meditation on the Lord. When we discuss a matter related to God, that itself is yaga, yajna, sacrifice, penance, and so on.
Right. So right now we're doing the Zoom tapas. We're doing the Zoom penance by discussing the Lord. It's a type of penance. It's a type of prayaschitta, and it engages the mind. It's a type of jnana yoga, and it's also a worship of Him, to think about Him and to speak about Him. So that's very
not
good.
Zoom tapasrika. You can call it a nomenclature, but through the Zoom. Instrument is a Zoom.
Right. Through Zoom, we're doing the jnana penance.
It is Manushya Tapas. It is
Manushya
Manava Tapas through Zoom.
Okay.
It's not Zoom. Zoom is not doing any tapas. Maybe the Zoom has an inner electronic technique which also enjoys our discussion as an achetana, as an insentient object.
The instrument,
Yeah.
does the instrument benefit when we do an action using an instrument? Does the instrument benefit?
When I think Tondaradi Pudiyalvar, some other, sorry, I don't remember. He said, "Padiyai kidandu un pavalavai kanbene." When he said it in Kuruhai Perappene, Tirupati Shunayil Meenavene, and then lastly, Edenum Avene. In all the expectations that Alva says, I'll be thinking of you, even as a stepping stone to your temple. Many Bhagavatas,
Kulashekara Alva.
Kulashekara Alva, yeah. Many people, Bhagavatas will step on me, will put their holy feet on me. And I will be witnessing your smile with coral teeth. Padiyai kedande pavalavai kanbene. So I'll be a bird in the mountain. I'll be a fish in the pond, Pushkarini.
Right.
And Kulashekara has no further imagination. Therefore, within the 10th Pacharam will that Edenum Avene. I'll become something which you like. But I must be associated with you forever. That association matters here. Guna Samparka Kritam and Guna Kritam.
Right. Right. So he says, if I take birth again, I should be a fish in the pond of Lord Ranganatha, or I should be one of the parrots who lives in the walls of Sri Rangam, or I should be the step of the Sannidhi that the devotees should place their feet upon me. It's a very nice sentiment, and in this way he wants to be mixed up with the Lord. He wants to be close to the Lord and close to the Bhagavatas, also to the devotees of the Lord.
Right.
It's a very nice sentiment.
Any other feedback from others? Now, my feeling is we both are engaging your time, and you must show that you have understood the subject, though in a little way we are.
Swami, people are watching these videos again and again when I put them up on YouTube, and they're going through, because there's so much to know, and when we go through it again and again, we get more. So as you said, if people want to give their realizations or questions or comments, they can email you, or they can send it by WhatsApp in a text. And I think Govindacharya has been sending you some questions. So,
and I must also request you to put a note that we want only positive comments on the subject matter. Positive comments on the subject matter than positive comments or negative comments on the individuals of participants or.
Of course, I'm always willing to take negative. I prefer if people give me the negative comments about myself, because only when I get the negative comments, I can make some corrections and I can be better. I don't want any positive comments about me. But at the same time, this is when I put it in YouTube, I always disable the comments. Yeah. Because the problem with the internet is that you may get a lot of comments, but 99% of them are going to be negative comments. So I have disabled the comments in the YouTube.
Right, that's why I was I'm telling you that.
Yeah. So I'm sure you saw that the comments are disabled, and that's the reason
No,
why.
I saw that. I saw the comment is disabled.
That's why I do it.
Right.
Because I do not want. We call them internet trolls. There are people out there who simply want to make bad comments, and I don't want them to engage in papam by criticizing you. Maybe if it's possible, I'll make it so they can criticize me, but because I like that. But if I don't want them to criticize you, so that's why I disabled it.
Okay. He's now ready to give
I just wanted to, Swami, I just wanted to, well, first of all, it's always good to hear the exchange with Keshava Swami and you, because then that makes things clearer when he asks the questions, because his questions are always so clear. And, it makes everything much more clarified. I was just thinking, we were discussing one thing before the class started, but I was just thinking about one thing he mentioned, that Shankaracharya and the Advaitins, they say, Jnanat mokshaha. Jnanat mokshaha. So the through jnana yoga, basically, one can get moksha. But I was actually thinking that prapatti, which is that single mental act of surrender to the Lord, by understanding that one is totally subservient and totally dependent on the Lord, is actually the full understanding of all knowledge. So that's really the true purport of Jnanat Mokshaha. Because only when one understands that he is totally dependent on the Lord and totally subservient to the Lord, then one surrenders to the Lord and one can get moksha. Excuse me, sorry. Sorry.
It's a very nice interference. We don't mind, but a youngster,
Yes.
a youngster coming near the discussion.
The Bhagavatas.
Not near the instrument, but near the discussion.
Yes, he's getting the song vibration. So I was just thinking about that in my mind, that it's not really relevant, but I was thinking actually that's a nice way of putting what is Jnanat Mokshaha. That's that's actually prapatti, because only when one comes to the point of understanding the true nature of the soul, then one can really attain moksha, only through that. And the other thing is that Swami was discussing before about Purashcharan, about the mantras, Mula Mantra, Dvaya Mantra, and Charama Shloka. If it is that Sri Vaishnavas actually practice Purashcharan of these mantras, just like how someone would usually practice, they get some initiation into some mantra, and then they would chant it for so many times to get the siddhi of the mantra. What are your comments with respect to that?
You mean the Purashcharan is a leading person guiding others?
No, what he's saying is, after taking Samashrinam, one is given the 3 mantras by the preceptor, and normally when in other sampradayas, when they give a mantra, they expect the shishya to do purascharya or purascharana, to repeat the mantras many times, do homa, do tarpana, feed Brahmins. They expect them to try to get siddhi of the mantra. So is that expected from a Sri Vaishnava who takes Samashrina, that he should chant Astakshara mantra, 8 lakh times, or just like in normal mantra shastra, however many aksharas there are, you should chant 1 lakh times the number of aksharas, and you should do homa 1/10 of the time, and do tarpana 1/10 of that, and do like that. So is there any system there where Sri Vaishnavas are asking their shishyas to do Purascharana or Purascharya, this system of trying to get siddhi of the mantras, the mantras given as Samashrana?
Definitely the process is available, but many preceptors today do not recommend that Purascharana, Purascharya. But because it is in Shastras, if the preceptors inform the Shishyas, and the Shishyas themselves, they know, even with the help of the preceptor, one can do. Not that one can do, one should do also. Right, you are right. That is what they say. Again, as you say, 24/7. 24/7.
Right. I think this
Thinking of the Lord with the help of this mantra.
Yes, I think this was one of the 74 last orders of, or 70 orders, last orders of Sripad Ramanujacharya, that one should chant Dvayam always. One should always chant Dvayam. This will be very useful if we just continually chant.
We also have some restrictions over the recitation of the 8-syllabled mantra, Ashtakshara, whereas Dvayam can be repeated at any time, in any position, in any status, and any place. So Dvayam can be recited everywhere.
So normally Astakshara mantra, we should be clean, and we should do the mantra nyasa and the anganyasa and the karanyasa and the dhyana and all these things before doing Astakshara mantra. But for the Dvaya mantra, we can just chant anytime.
Yeah.
I understand. So
generally, of course, all mantras must be recited with the Devata, Rishi, and Chandas. Rishi, Devata, and Chandas.
Right.
That generally they say the recitation becomes effective.
Right. I think I've seen in Chandogya Upanishad, it's mentioned that one has to know the meter, one has to know the Devata, one has to know the these things.
Meter.
Yeah. Oh, and my last comment was, you mentioned that Andal in the end of Tirupavai mentions the name Govinda 3 times, and then also in the Sankalpa we always say Hari Om Tat Sat, Shri Govinda Govinda Govinda. We also mention Govinda 3 times when we do a Sankalpa. So can you say something more about why? Is there a relationship between she is saying Govinda 3 times and the Sankalpa, or why Sri Vaishnavas say this Govinda 3 times?
Before the incarnation of Goda Devi as Andal called in Tamil, that was in Kali Yuga. So even in the previous yugas like Krita, Treta, and Dwapara, this practice was there, saying Sri Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. So only Goda Devi reminds us of the practice, that's all. And again gives much stress upon the importance to the name Govinda. The name Govinda. She says, in the mouth of the cowherd says, Chiruberarettanavum Shiri Arulade. Please do not get angry with us, because we have been saying a lot of your names which are very short in nature, in the sense which have less meaning. Whereas this Govinda has got a very elaborate, comprehensive import. For example, Go is cow, everybody knows. So Gam Vindati will be in Ditya Vibhakti, the accusative case. So Gam Vindati will be, he came to the earth down as an incarnation in order to take care of the cows. Gopala, he was a cowherd. So Gam Vindati is Govinda. Go meaning Jnanam, knowledge, wisdom. So he wants to make all of us wise. Therefore, he extended knowledge to us. Govinda. The third meaning Go means the earth. The earth is in the form of the cow. And he came down to the earth. He's a down-to-earth personality. So he explained how being brought up in a so-called lower caste, he could elevate those people of lower caste, cowherds and cowherders, to the spiritual welfare, plus all others like us, with his coming down on earth and living among the downtrodden with the Saulabhyam and Saushilyam, and how he showed also the wonderful Randavu in his economy. He showed both Paratvam and Saulabhyam, both the supremacy and the accessibility. And therefore, that is meant by Govinda. Gam Vindati. Though the earth, we say even today, Karma Bhumi. In India is a Karma Bhumi. All other countries are Bhoga Bhumi. They are for enjoyment. Whereas this is for Nitya Anushtan. In this case, this otherwise is also called Papa Bhumi. Once we come down to earth as a human being or any other living being or any other insentient object, for example, just now we are talking about stepping stone to in a what you call staircase to temple. Sometimes a stone gets into the sanctum sanctorum as the deity, as the form of the deity. A sculptor chisels it and then puts it in the temple. The priests consecrate it and it is worshipped as God. But some other stone is lying down on the ground, on the road, without being used in any way. Not a single use of the stone. It remains idle. There are, even among the insentient objects, one is lucky, the other is unfortunate. And therefore, we say this way, Govinda, Gam Vindati. So he makes the whole earth fortunate.
So, as you said, when we hear the word Govinda, we think of this Achmana. We think of the third name that we have in Chutananta Govinda. We think of Govinda. The other thing I think of when I hear Govinda is I think of Draupadi Sharanagati, that she says Govindam Pudrikaksham Rakshamam Sharanagata, that she was praying to, she was calling out the name Govinda, and that she was saved by the name of Govinda, because Krishna was not present, but the name Govinda was present, and she was saved by the name Govinda. As you said, the name of the Lord is greater than the Lord himself, especially this wonderful name Govinda. So
he also said Shankha Chakra Gadapane,
right,
Dwaraka Nilaya Achyuta. So she included the Achamana first word. Then also Govinda.
Sankha Chakra Gadapane,
Shankha Chakra Gadapane, Dwaraka Nilaya Achyuta. Then Govinda Pundarikaksha Lakshamam Saranagata. Then again she said, Ha Krishna, Dwaraka Vasin, Kwasi Yadavanandana, Imam Avastham, Sampraptam, Anatham, Kim Upekshase. These two verses were chanted by Draupadi.
The second verse that you just chanted, what is the meaning of that?
Ha Krishna, addressing, call him. Ha Krishna. Ha is denoting that she is in danger. She is at risk. Ha Krishna, otherwise it will be Hey Krishna. So Ha Krishna, Dwaraka Vasin. The problem that we say that she was delayed. The protection was delayed because she didn't call him Hridaya Antaryami, in the Hridaya Antaryamin or Hridaya Hridayavasin.
Right, because he's there in her heart, and that is closer than Dwarka, because she was in Hastinapur and he was in Dwarka. So she should have addressed him as the Lord in the heart, which is closer.
Dwaraka Vasin or Dwaraka Nilaya. So Ha Krishna Dwaraka Vasin. Kwasi, where are you? Kwasi, where are you? Kwasi. Yadava Nandana, there that comes to Govinda. So Yadava Nandana. Imam Avastham, this bad condition. Imam Avastham. As we say in Tamil, Avastha means suffering in Tamil. Avastha generally means condition in Sanskrit. It is not a bad condition. It cannot be good. It can be a good condition. But we never attach the word avastha with a good condition. Sad avastha we don't say. I am in a good condition, therefore I am in sad avastha. No, we never say that. We say duravastha. Avastha itself means suffering. So Imam avastham sampraptam. I have reached this risky status. Anatham. I am helpless now. I am leaderless now. All the Pandavas have left me in the lurch. Not even Bhishma and Dronacharya, Kripa come to my rescue. And therefore, they are all elders in the assembly. And they are not helping me. Therefore, Anatham, Kim Upekshase. Why do you decline? Why are you indifferent towards me? Kim Upekshase. Why do you neglect me? Therefore, the Lord immediately. Of course, again, that was Sampurna Sharanagati when she lifted her hands, thinking that she can protect herself by holding on to the dress.
Kavitarkika Simhaya Kalyana Gunashaline Srimate Venkateshaya Vedanta Gurave Namaha.